Hey everybody, hi, hello, welcome. 1 second. Oh, girl, I didn't even notice. All right, hold up. I just figured out that if I loop the audio or whatever, I could hear how loud the TV is and how loud I am, and I can adjust. And then I'm gonna turn it off because I talk slow. Because I'm I'm listening to myself talk. Okay. How's everyone doing? I am doing amazing today. I feel like I actually got sleep last night. Got sleep last night. Hold up. Okay. So, yeah, I feel like I got sleep last night. I've been waking up fairly early. And I think that's a good enough balance. I don't know. It is what it is. Okay. And so I woke up at 6:59 or 6 something. Yeah, it was 6 something, which would have been 5, but we lost an hour. So I am making up the hour with Vihart right now. She does a Pi Day video every year, and I read her description box this year. She said she forgot it was even Pi Day, and I'm like, girl, it's been that kind of time, but I don't want to say she lives for Pi, but if you've ever seen one of her Pi Day videos, you would think that she loves it. It's like, girl, you forgot. Life has been life. Life has always been life, but it's been extra life for the past year. But anyway, she's playing the piano right now. She played it for about half an hour, and she's like, if you listen for half an hour, then we'll make up the hour that we lost. And before I went to sleep last night, I was just listening to this, reflecting on life lived, experiences past, and everything that I want moving into the future. And I know that it's not all going to be easy, that there are going to be downtimes, that there are going to be setbacks. But I know that it's also going to be beautiful and amazing. And it really feels like a season of coming into everything and not holding anything back. And just accepting, rolling with the punches, accepting things as they are. Not everything is going to work out, but that's fine. They don't have to. And so I went to bed last night. I still woke up early, but usually when I wake up early, I can't go back to sleep. Today I went back to sleep. I didn't get out of bed until 12 something, and it felt gorgeous. Honestly, today feels like one of those days that I could be asleep all day. Not in a bad way, but in just that finally getting some rest type of way. But anyway, today I'm using the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations and the Archangel Power cards because I'm feeling it today. And we'll see what's up. Leliel, Angel of the Night, was coming out a lot. And it was interesting because it's been a very sort of starry energy lately. And even though Leliel is the Angel of the Night, she's correlated more to the stars. And it's been this star maker type of energy. And then as more things have happened as I've watched a few other readers, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is that star maker energy. And then the point where all the stars start to connect, when you start forming constellations, it's like, oh my gosh. And then I finally, oh, that was quick. Hunt just came out. Left leg submission. I'm not gonna take Hyde. I'll read it. Bottom of the deck, Chakma, right eye, wisdom. So there's wisdom and submission here. For me, for myself personally, it's this energy of surrender, but it's not surrender without trying. It's like when they say let go of the outcome, it's like still do everything that you can. Just don't be so attached to it working out the way that you want it to work out, because in the space of surrender, it can work out even better. Or when we're not in the space of surrender, it's like sometimes we can try to force something that just won't be, because you can't violate the free will of another, and you can't take what is someone else's, right? Yesterday, like, ooh, girl, I was so tired yesterday. I had to help my mom yesterday after that video. And I was like, I was reading the stuff, and I already knew I was going to have to redo my resume to emphasize other things, right? And when I was doing it, I was like, But by the time I like was getting fully into it, I was actually like pretty excited. I made some visual changes to it. It's a little less basic now. I think it's, for me, it's the perfect amount of like basic, but also like extra. And I submitted my application. I feel really good about the job. I don't know if I'll get it, but I feel really good about it. It isn't exactly what I was wanting, but it's kind of sort of everything that I was wanting. And the craziest thing is that, like, this job won't necessarily. Hey, Casey, it's been a minute. Aw. I was just talking to somebody last night. I was like, I wish I had a pet to pet. Our dog doesn't like being pet that much. I'm like, that's cool. You know, you're your own dog, but it would be nice if we could like cuddle or something. It's fine. um, but I realized there's an opportunity there for me to do even more. And if I look at my history, like that's kind of sort of been it. I think I still have your email. I might reach out to you, Casey. Thank you. But anyway, with the submission and the wisdom, it's like there are all these things that I can see. But even still, if it doesn't work out, it's not to be to whatever, because again, it's that if it's not this, it's something better type of energy. So I'm actually going to grab these so I can read the book. How have you been? Let's see. Ooh. Gavora, Tiferet, Hod. Here's Hod. The eighth emanation, the force that abides. Hod. Hod is what guides us when we surrender ourselves to the flow of fate and let destiny guide our motion. Through her light, we see the boundlessness of glory. Waving our hands through the wind, we feel the air pull us upward. It's only by resigning ourselves to the forces around us that we truly experience the nature of those forces. The golden orb shines a radiant light upon our shoulders. Supporting the pillar of severity, Hod does not press back against the weight of the tree. Instead, she simply lets it pass through her, flowing like water down into the lowest portion of the diagram. Through the two opposing characteristics of Hod and Netzah, relinquishing and resisting, we gain the power to move. Together they form the power to carry ourselves through the world with grace and intention. This is found in Prayer, Nature, and Mysteries. Ooh, interested in Vedic lately. That it's funny you say that. I was looking to pull out these decks, and I pulled up my Vedic astrology deck. This one, and I was like, I never use this thing. I could use it, and I was like, nah. I think. Excuse me. And I looked at Vedic yesterday or the day before, just to see when Jupiter would fully be in Aquarius. Because I know in Vedic it's still in Capricorn. I don't know why, but Vedic has a lot of like features that Western astrology just doesn't. But it's also older, so it makes sense. Excuse me. I can go back to sleep. Today is just like Sunday is a day of rest, the Sabbath. Today's feeling like that rest day. Ooh, it's feeling so good. Okay, so on to the energy today. And with it being found in nature, with it saying like the only way to truly learn the forces of nature, or the only way to truly understand a natural force is to surrender to it. It's feeling like that. It's like the wheel of destiny, the wheel of fate is about to turn. I was listening to this. I was just like, I guess, transmuting a whole bunch of stuff. And it came to me that, like, if the world can shift so suddenly and dramatically, so globally, and almost all at once, in the direction that it did, then who's to say that it can't do the same in the opposite direction? Life is always unpredictable like that, and it can always surprise us like that. And a lot of times, maybe not a lot of times, but sometimes the surprise is more on the negative side. But it can also be an upswing. So nature has a way of balancing itself, I guess. So hopefully we'll experience some of that balance soon. The fourth Ariel. Oh, I remember this dude. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change. Extremes in how you save or spend money. Oop, okay. Oh, I caught him. He didn't hit the floor. I'll reply to your email, and then you'll have mine. I'm trying to remember which one I had you send it to. Hey, here it is. Boom. There you go. Bottom of the deck is the High Priestess. With submission, I feel like this is following submission. Four of Pentacles, it usually has an energy of like, it can have an energy of being miserly, stingy, selfish, isolated, guarded. But it's carrying an energy of like knowing that there are things beyond your control that can work out better than you would have expected. It's like that you've done what you can. You do what you can. And the rest, they say it's luck, it's fortune. I don't know. Excuse me. Today may be that day that I just lay in bed all day. Actually, I am going to do a build with me after this, so let me not drag this on for too long. So the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations card for today, Pi Day 314. The clocks went forward an hour, so if you have any clocks that don't automatically update in your house, you might want to do that. I feel this one. Zacharielle, Angel of Memory. This is interesting. It feels like an energy that I have been at. This may just be it always is what it is, right? Take it if it resonates. Don't take it if it doesn't resonate. I think one thing So, like back in the day, I've been thinking about this lately. I've been thinking a lot about myself lately, especially in relation to like other people and how I communicate with them. But when I was in high school and I was in rhetoric, my teacher would always tell me like, you don't have to write I think or like I whatever. She was like, it's your paper. I know it's what you think. And I think I kind of sort of took that to like now when I speak, even like, and again, I know I talk strongly, but I'm assuming that you're assuming that everything I'm saying is my opinion, my perspective. So I don't necessarily all the time have to be like, this is what I think because I'm saying it. So I'm assuming that you're assuming that it's what I think, right? And so sometimes I guess it could come out or come off a little more defined or definite, but that's me operating under the mutual assumption that we both know that it's what I think and what I feel. So I could do better to be like, this is what I think, this is how I feel. But then I'd just be like, take it as it resonates. And then I assume that if it doesn't resonate for you, you just leave it. Anyway, it's this like what we continue to hold on to as we move into what we're coming into. And I love this card because it's almost like this energy of we can't hold on to both. We can't create new memories if we're holding on to old ones. Bottom of the deck is Hasmed, Angel of Annihilation. He's been an angel that's been featured, I think, every time I've used this deck for the past like 3 times or 4 times. And I love Hasmed because it's like some of these memories they need to go because they do stand in the way of us experiencing the new. It's almost like trying to hold two opposing narratives at once. And usually, I'm like, oh, it's all about paradise and holding both. But there is a little bit, there's Hasmed. Where is Zacharielle? Oh, it goes from Zacharielle right into Hasmed. Okay. Zacharielle, Angel of Memory. Eternally lost, Zacharielle carelessly winds and unwinds the threads of thought. Memory has no worries or concerns. You are safe to wrap yourself in the bands of time gone by as well. It is warm and safe within the fog of Zacharielle. All you knew greets you, welcomes you, longs for you. The power of remembrance is balanced by the power of forgetfulness. Pouring memory into the cup of forgetfulness makes room for new memory. Zachariel is the angel of all memory, even memory lost. If you take something with you, you must also leave something behind. Signs are a knot, a loom, and a maze. Hasmed, Angel of Annihilation. The Unmaker, a terrible sight to behold, the void eating itself and making itself anew. That which should no longer exist is unmade by Hasmed's hands. There is something that needs to be removed. Look upon that which should not be and loose it from existence. Found in a hood, an eclipse, and an empty field. And then under Hasmed is, yeah, okay. This is interesting. All right. So we'll work back. And then Uriel is behind all of this. Hold up, wait. How did this come out? I'll just show you the 3 cards. No, I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay. So under Hasmed was the Angel of Time. And when we're speaking of memory and when we're speaking of holding on to one thing prevents us from, grabbing another, also there's a temperance energy because it pours from the cup of memory to the cup of forgetfulness to make room for more memory. It also reminds me of there's this one show that I never finished, but there's this girl who remembers literally everything. And there's this special ceremony that they perform because they tell her that like she'll die because her brain will be overworked or overstimulated if she remembers every single thing for a certain number of years. And then it turns out that that's not necessarily true. But then it reminds me of that enlightenment again yesterday. That enlightenment and the unlightenment, shifting the perspective and the focus from one thing to another to make room for something new. If you take something with you, something must be left behind. But with Brent here, it feels like some of these things have a lot of time behind them, and some of them need to be let go. And then what was behind that? It's the angel of mercy and the angel of punishment. And this is something that I thought about too last night, in an energy of transmuting and unmaking and recreating. It's like, what are some of the things that we just let go of? Because in some ways it creates delays in where we're going. In other ways, it's not necessarily about reversing the flow of the polarity. It's about creating a new one. And how sacrifice is required in a lot of ways right now to get where we want to be. Sacrifice has always been required, but now we're in a position where I don't want to say like we're more vulnerable, but like we really want the world to not be what it has been for the past year. And so maybe we're willing to do things now that we weren't willing to do before. And sometimes what we sacrifice is the need to be for like retribution or vengeance, or to seek closure through someone else giving something to us that ultimately we kind of sort of, I don't want to say we need to give to ourselves, but if closure isn't something that you're ready to receive, then even if the person says everything that you want them to say, you still won't have it. And with the angel of punishment or the angel of mercy, it's like we could continue down a path where we get what it is that we want from those or the systems that we wanted it from, or with the angel of mercy and the angel of annihilation, we can use the angel of memory and the angel of time to create something completely new. Uriel is the flame of God. And I don't want to say it's offering us the choice, because who am I, right? But it is something interesting to think about. And honestly, me, myself, like, I'd rather just have the new stuff. Right? Now we'll get some tarot cards on this. I love apply so much. Oh, this is a feature lately. We got Big Boy Strength and Epiphany. Strength and Epiphany. Strength would lead me. Strength and the Hermit. Epiphany is the Hermit. These two together would lead me to believe that it's the path of unmaking, of showing mercy, and of moving on. Because at the end of the day, it's almost like everything was a product of its time. It's a product of its environment. And no one person is really responsible for that. And in some ways, it's almost like going back to that submission and the wisdom. It involves an understanding of like the cycle being what the cycle was. And in some ways, it's like we can't violate the will of the divine. And I'm not going to say it was the divine that was like, life is going to be pretty not great for a lot of people for a while. But the will of the divine is like choice and will and love and stuff like that. It's to have the strength to move forward, Raziel and Ariel. I think Raziel is actually in here. Let's see what Raziel is about. Oh, it's right here. Angel of Mysteries. And Zacharielle was found in the mysteries, wasn't it? One second. Or was Hod found in the mystery? Hod was found in mysteries. So here's the angel of mysteries coming through in the hermit epiphany. The keeper, the speaker of truth, all knowledge is pressed within the binding of his book. Raziel stands at the foot of the tree of life and observes all of creation, ever the diligent witness, forever transcribing the whole of creation. The book is passed to Enoch through his journey into the tree of life. There are some things we simply cannot know. Such is the precious narrative of life. We can know the parts of the play, but not the story's end. Secrets and hidden endings keep the performance alight and dancing through the universe. Raziel, wrapped on high, our ever-present observer. We dream and fill Raziel's book of mysteries. Our breath turns its pages. Exhale. Found in a book, a mask, and codes. And so, yeah, it's almost like it's the strength to get one of those hidden endings. And it kind of sort of goes back to yesterday with the Eight of Cups. It's the strength to, in some ways, turn our back on everything that we know in favor of all that could be. In that Eight of Cups, when she was looking at the stars and the moon. It's like, if we do this, I mean, it's a hidden ending, but I can ask, right? I'll give it 5. If nothing comes out, then nothing comes out. What happens if we do this? I'll take it, but we'll see if I should have. 4 more. 3 more. Oops. 2 more. Last one. Well, I guess it's like technically, because it would have been 1 more, and then the last one. Oh, okay. Well, all right. I love this. The card that came out face up is peace. This is what happens if we take it. So we have strength, and epiphany into peace. These two, the Ace of Michael and the Leap of Faith. The other cards that came out face down, the High Priestess. Oh my gosh! Every single one is a major. So peace came out and it flipped over. But then all these fell out face down behind it, and literally every single one is a major. We have the High Priestess, the Emperor. Oops, hold up. Decision, perspective, solutions, and then new beginnings. All of this sort of clarifying the peace that we have to come into, that's available to us if we have the strength to just walk away from the past and to create a new future with an understanding of what didn't work before. So it's not that we're necessarily carrying the past into the future, but it's like there are some things that we learned not to do, right? Maybe you learn not to be so quick to be judgmental, or to not be so critical and analytical all the time, or however you wrap it up and justify it to yourself, Patrick. But like, to really just allow for things to be what they are and to do the best you can do. Be the most open and compassionate you can be, and to not hold any whatever for the world's or someone else's reaction. Because at the end of the day, and it's what I've realized Like it's like I feel like it's stuff that I've known, but maybe I'm like putting it into practice now or using it in a different way. But what I've realized lately is that like other people don't really matter. Other people don't matter so much that I shouldn't be who I am. And it's not my job to curate myself or to edit myself to be more appetizing or appealing to someone else. Right. And so, in that, it liberates me to have that peace. 2, 4, 15, 12, 14, and 20. This is amazing. The song is over. I think the video's over. What's at the bottom of the deck? Bottom of the deck is the page of Raphael. Gentle, loving, dreamy, and open hearted. A new emotional situation, messages regarding relationships or social invitations, great intuitive insights. With Raph up there, Raphael. Ace of Swords, Ace of Michael, and the Leap of Faith. It feels like it's an energy of us realizing more and more, maybe, that it's going to become something that we just have to do. Something that, because it's like the further in we go with the Epiphany Hierophant energy, the more we realize we're just going to have the strength to do it. And with peace being a potential outcome, or like what happens if we just do this, like peace built upon the high priestess, the emperor, decisions, perspective, solutions, and new beginnings, like it's all there. So that's what I got for this one. Have an amazing whatever whenever you see this, I hope. Have an even more amazing and wonderful whatever soon, I hope. And I hope that you're doing whatever you need to do to get what you want out of life. And I hope you can see it. And with that, I'm going to shut this one down. And then I'll be like literally right back because I'm feeling like building this bread today. So bye. Thanks, Casey. It was fun. Just chit chatting a little bit. It's been a minute, girl.